This is Dave, the Guru, and another tutorial using Gamesalad. This is part 3 of our Amazon in-app purchase series. In this video, I'm going to show you how to install your JSON file, install your application on your Kindle, and test the in-app purchase, and look at it through the SDK tester to see that everything is functioning properly. And there's another way in the debug that we can also look at things in case we're getting thrown errors. So what I've got up here is my iPad Air is filming my Kindle Fire, and I'm mirroring it through Reflector so we can see what's actually going on in real time with the device as we work on the desktop. So I've got it plugged in via the USB cable, my Amazon Kindle HD. And then what we're going to want to do is we're going to need two things. We're going to need the JSON file that we exported from the developer console and our signed APK. So now one of the first things that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to boot up a program called Ellipse that I showed you earlier that comes with the Android developer tools. You'll find that right at the root of your home folder in a separate folder outside the SDK. So now we can see that we have our device here, and we're going to just go ahead and click it. And this is the area down here, the logcat area, where it's going to give us basically all the metrics and everything that's going on. Now what you can do to just narrow this field down, because it's constantly updating to basically things to do with the Android SDK tester, you can go ahead and click on this little plus sign and you can make a filter. And so we'll just go ahead and take a look at that filter. And what you want to do is you can put any name in here, but by log tag, you want to put in this Amazon SDK tester, just like I have it, and click OK. And then when you come over here and click on it, what it'll do is it'll just give you basically an update of what's going on in the activity with your Android Amazon SDK. So let's just go ahead and clear that out and have a clean slate for the SDK tester. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come down here and we're up into this. Basically in this window is the file structure of your Kindle Fire. It'll be the same for the emulator as well. Although I haven't had very much success with the emulator, it's throwing me all kinds of errors now when I try to install my APK. It's not very reliable. I'm just kind of fed up with it. So I'm just going to show you how to do it on the device. You can try these same steps on the emulator and see if it works for you. So we're going to go into this MNT file, and we're going to be looking for the SD card folder. And basically we're going to take our JSON and we're going to go ahead and drop it on there. Now that loads up the JSON file where it needs to be according to Amazon, so that it can read that file when we go ahead and install our app on there. So now let me just go ahead and get my Kindle Fire back on. And let's go ahead and install our application. So for that, we're going to need the terminal to sideload it. So now that we've come in here, we just want to, this is the quick way to do it. We're going to go ahead and go down to the Android SDK, into the platform tools, and we're going to go to the ADB bridge because this is what it uses to communicate from the computer to the device. Now we just want to make sure that the ADB bridge is running. It's actually a server. So we're just going to type in, after this, we're going to type in devices. And it's going to show us our devices attached. So okay, we're good. Now we're going to go ahead and install our APK. So we'll drag this ADB in again, and we'll type in install. Put a space, and then we'll come over and drag this, our APK, signed one, into there, and we're going to hit return. And you'll see it's successful, and if we scroll through, we'll find the app in a minute. Now you're also going to need to make sure on your device's SDK tester is installed. You're going to basically install it the same way I just installed this APK, and you're going to find that right in this extras folder inside here, into Amazon and into, I'm sorry, not in the SDK folder. It's up in the apps SDK folder, which is the stuff that you download from Amazon, like I showed you in the first video. You're going to go up to Android, you're going to go into in-app purchasing, and you're going to go into tools, and you're going to find this is the APK for the SDK tester. Make sure you've installed that on your device as well. You need to have that on there because that basically is the client that mirrors the similar things that the Amazon IAP server does on the device to check everything. It hands everything around. So now we've got our app installed. So let me go ahead and scroll to it. And there it is right there. Let me just flip that around. And there we have it. So basically what I've got on the top in the green box is our ads off function. And then below we have our consumable. So the top is the entitlement, which is the Boolean. And then the bottom is the coins that we're going to buy. And those were the two that we had set up. So now the top one, when I touch it, it's going to initiate the purchase. And it should change to true, and we'll go through that right now. So that we see that when I touched it, let's see if I can get my iPad to focus. There we go. And so we see there's the purchase initiation saying that this turns ads off just like we had typed it in there for 99 cents. And then we're going to just go ahead and confirm it. And then we see it change to true. And so we're all good on that. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the consumables. Now I'm looking at an attribute. I put in a value in there. And then when we buy the 20 coins, it'll add that and change that value to 30. And there we go. We see that it's changed to 30. And we can see down here in the tester, in the log, down here, that we can just read everything. And we can see that the purchases were made through the SDK tester. And everything is, going properly and working properly. And we can also back out of this. So let me go ahead and just back out on the Kindle itself. And we can bring up the SDK, and it's kind of hard to see. And the top part of it, it says active transactions. So if you go to that, it'll give you a list of the transactions that were made. And you can actually go in there and clear the transactions and do them again. And since I don't have the code in Gamesalad to change it all around, you can actually make it so that you can have some modules in there that you can touch it and press it and change it back to false and get rid of the coins. And, you can, if you want to do more elaborate testing. But for the most part, once you see that it works, it's going to work. And Gamesalad pretty much handles the rest of the coding in the publishing system. You're just really looking to make sure that your code functions properly. When you execute a transaction, everything changes appropriately, and all that coins get added and spent, and your ads are actually turned off and all that kind of stuff. And the real key is to make sure that your SKU is set up properly. That's the big thing. So once you've gone through and checked it this way, then you know you're good to go. All the terminology and everything's working. Everything's working in your app properly. All your code is right, and then you can go ahead and submit. So this should be it. You can try it with the emulator. It's all the same kind of installs. It's just done on the computer, not on the device. You can find me on the forums under the name Lost Oasis Games. This is Dave, the Guru. I'll see you in the next video.